So this video is about 4 months in the making. I've been really wanting to showcase all the protective gear that I use while riding, especially my electric mountain board. And we'll start off with the helmet. I have here a anti-ordinary A2 helmet, and it's really it's a snowboard helmet designed out of Australia. I have been watching the company for several years. They had a Kickstarter program online and gone through many prototypes and variations. Now, once I saw the A2 now is this production model, I knew it was time to press the buy button and pull the trigger. So really happy with it. It's low profile, very lightweight. Doesn't really restrict you at all, and hardly feels that you're wearing a helmet. As I mentioned, it is designed for snowboarding, and it came with a beanie that covers up the helmet. So I don't use the beanie for riding while I'm doing my mountain boarding, but it's got really good test ratings for impact, and had a lot of nice features where it actually molds and shapes. It's got different panels that slide and movement, and with the elastic band that wraps all the way around it, with time, you put it on your head and you squeeze it and shape it, and after about 10 or 15 minutes it can just mold to the shape of your skull and gives you really good protection, is very comfortable, and I'm really loving this helmet. Here on the inside, it doesn't have any foam protection like the comfort layer that you'd see in most helmets. So I did purchase this helmet liner, which keeps it nice and cool. You can wash this and replace this, as needed, and that combo's worked really well. I'll go into more details. I plan in the future, hopefully I'll get around to it and do individual videos showcasing each protective area equipment based on area, and comparing them to past protective equipment that I've used and highlight some of those differences. So this video is really just an overview. Wanted to start by showing the gear that I most prevalently wear while riding. Once I got 7 months ago, I got my new electric mountain board, MBS Agent, and it goes over 40 miles per hour. And I started thinking I better upgrade some of my protective equipment. Now, some of this stuff I've been using before that, but I hadn't really worn with a back protection. So this is something new that I figured if I'm going, high speeds, really pushing progression and riding on some rough terrain, that protecting my back would be a good idea. So I got the EVOC. It's a Protective Vest Light, and pretty comfortable. This piece up here by the top of it, by the neck, is okay. It doesn't, it kind of feels a little awkward a little bit, but really what I really like is how low it goes. So the bottom of this, I've actually utilized it. It saved me from scrape and some impact resistance on the lower back. So it's lightweight, it's ventilated, so it was I really can't compare this to many other back protectors because this is the first one I bought, but I do really like it. Then we have the butt pads. Now, I've been wearing butt pads, I've been mountain boarding for for over 30 years, and gone through many brands, even been sponsored by companies that produce tailbone protection. So these here, for protection wise, these are the best I've found. Tortoise Pads. They come with multiple layers of protection, so you can pull out inserts of the pads, and they have different densities of the foam. So I currently have one of the rigid, hardest density, impact density, and then two medium ones. I didn't feel that the really soft, cushiony ones were needed, for my riding. And like I said, I'll pull out, when I do a separate video just about butt pads, I'll have more information to cover that. But these are really durable and will save your tailbone in a hard crash. Then on the elbow protection, this is probably, for me, what I use the most, what I need the most. I'm fully strapped in to an electric mountain board. I also utilize the heel straps, so when I crash, I can't jump off the board. I always go down to my forearms and elbows, and having a pad that also extends and gives you that forearm protection and the elbow is needed. I've gone through all kinds of protective equipment. This one has taken some abuse. There's a little bit of dirt scrapes and marks on it. It's holding up super well. It's comfortable and it stays in place. It's got these little silicone grips up at the top. Those are on the inside, and they kind of grip to your forearm. And then it does have a Velcro strap, so it cinches in, keeps it in place. The gloves that I'll highlight next go up pretty high on the wrist, so then that doesn't allow any movement for these elbow pad, forearm pads. So the best I've found so far. Oh, the brand and model. Sorry, this is the Fox Launch Pro. Yeah, so I got these and I loved them so much, I knew I had to get some knee pads. Now, these are just the Fox Launch knee pads, not the Pro. And I'm not even sure, I haven't looked online whether they have the Fox Launch Pro. They probably do, which probably has some of this silicone coating, a little extra abrasion resistance on the knee pad. But these are really comfortable. Again, they also have this top part that's nice and wide, and it has the silicone little grippy grips on the inside, so that really sticks to your upper thigh. And then the knee pad itself is very flexible, comfortable, yet it's still padded. I mostly use my pads for abrasion resistance. There is some impact that happens, but most of the time, it's getting scraped from rocks and dirt and stuff. I like the little side pads that this knee pad also has. So a lot of times, you'll file and scrape the side. So it's got some padding on the sides. It's really comfortable. Now this one, different from the elbow pad, it's got the Velcro strap at the bottom, which is great because it does not slide down on you. And a lot of times when you fall, the pad, will tend to slide down depending on, how far you slide on the ground and the resistance. So this keeps the pad in place. I definitely have had some other knee pads that didn't work as well at this. And for me, it's a combination of protection and comfort. Because if you're not comfortable, if it inhibits your ability to ride, to the best of your ability, then, I don't want my protective gear holding me back. So I want it to be comfortable, yet protect me when I need to. So the Fox Launch knee pads, and especially the elbow, the Launch Pro elbow, those are some great pads. So on the gloves, at first I was kind of wearing just some simple, fingerless gloves for, electric skateboarding. And then as I started riding more rougher all-terrain, I realized, that your fingers are vulnerable. And, so a good protective glove was real important. This here's the ONSRA gloves, and they are high quality. Okay, I'm not going to go in the prices of everything, but when I do these more detailed future videos, I'll go into more detail on that. But these gloves are well made. They got great protection on the palm. The wrist, they come out nice. They have 2 Velcro straps on the wrist. They come with some plastic inserts. I removed those. I don't like the rigidness of the wrist guard, the plastic plates. I do like the flexibility and comfort. So those are easily removable. You'll see I have an odd pair. So I have a full fingered, and this is for my left hand. I hold the remote in my right hand. So that's where I wanted the half thumb exposed, for the control of braking and throttle on the remote. So I actually had to order 2 separate pairs of gloves. I got one pair that's the full fingered and another pair that had the forefinger and thumb, cut in half. So, the shipping, these are from Europe, and the shipping was real expensive. So the shipping was the same price whether I bought 1 glove or 2. So I pulled the trigger, I got 2 gloves. Definitely in the winter, I was surprised at how riding at moderately high speeds in cold weather, how frozen and numb that my forefinger would get, especially my lead hand with the control. So I'm thinking of definitely taking my right hand glove and cutting just the thumb, keep the forefinger, because I'm not using the trigger per se on my remote. But just try to dial it in. Super high quality, pretty expensive, but good gloves from ONSRA. And so I do ride a couple of other protective gear, and so I want to kind of do some honorable mentions. First, the helmet. This is my older helmet. I've been riding this for a long time. It's a Premier helmet, and it's a custom handmade carbon fiber shell helmet by Marshall Von Wolf. He makes 2 kind of brands. He has 2 different molds that he makes handmade helmets from. They're pricey, but they'll save your life. I haven't pulled it out today, but when I cover the helmets, I'll pull out the shell and probably go over the story a little bit of how one of his helmets did save my life. It cracked, but it didn't fail. And if it had been a plastic shell helmet, I probably wouldn't be giving this little video today. So, but even with the large holes for ventilation, this helmet's really hot. It's so I definitely like this helmet, but occasionally in colder weather, I might pull this one out and still use it. It's definitely good for protection, maybe especially when I ride skate parks. The other item is some butt pads. Now these ones are by Old Bones Therapy, OBT, local company here in Northern California. I use many, some of the knee sleeves, and even my wife uses elbow sleeves. They have some really good compression sleeves. Also inserts for my riding shoes and stuff. So really high quality gear from this company. And I wanted to try out their padded shorts. I'd already had owned the Tortoise Pads, super happy with those. But, you know, these have a little higher protection on the hips. And, you know, I used to do a lot of bull riding on my mountain board, on my traditional mountain board, and heavy slams in the concrete bowl really have you know, kind of destroyed my hips to a point. One of them even looks deformed. But so hip protection's really good. But unlike the Tortoise Pads, that you can add more layers of thickness and density of the foam, these ones just are one layer. It's soft foam. You know, they're very comfortable. So I use these in more heavy duty protection, and this is more for mild protection, but lightweight and comfortable. Definitely if I'm snowboarding and on the slopes, these would be my preferred butt pads. But they do have one nice little pad right here, and it covers the tailbone. And this pad is just in the right spot. So definitely liking the Old Bone Therapy butt pads there. And so that covers my protective gear. Just wanted to highlight, you know, like I said, I've had years of experience of trying different brands. I'm hoping to spend some time doing individual videos covering, you know, just gloves, just knee pads or elbow pads, butt pads, or just helmets, and go into much more in depth. But for now, you know, it's hot out here. I'm gonna wrap up this video. Just a quick heads up, I'm super excited about tomorrow's ride. And go riding tomorrow morning, hit the trail, try to do some videotaping of that session, and hope to hit turbo gear for the first time. So that's going to be the big highlight for tomorrow's ride, and hopefully a ride video coming up will be the MBS Agent hitting turbo mode. So hope you're getting out there enjoying whatever weather you're in, and get on aboard and ride.